So my name is Lily Hedwick Turner. Thank you for joining me on this yoga video. It's going to be a relatively short vinyasa flow, hopefully to open you and give you energy for your day. Maybe this is the first thing you've done this morning. It'll be nice, revitalising, energising flow for you. It is suitable for all levels. I'll try and give a few modifications for anything, but feel free to go for the full postures if it's in your practice. Other than that, yeah, just if you need to come down to child's pose, obviously this is a recorded video, so you could be in child's pose for the whole flow if you'd like to, and then join me for Shavasana at the end. It's completely up to you, so listen to your body and do what feels right for you. If you need to take a moment in child's pose and then join, you can even pause the video. So I hope you enjoy, and let's start. So we're actually going to start with sun salutations. I do have a little warm-up, about 15-20 minute warm-up video if you would like to do that first. If it's the first thing that you've done today and you feel like going straight in with sun salutations is too intense, then pop over to my warm-up video, or give yourself a little bit of a warm around, because we're going to start straight in with sun salutation A into sun salutation B. So we're going to start standing near the front of our mat. I'm going to get knocked out by the sofa, so I'm just going to start a little bit further back. Just standing in parallel, just finding that alignment, checking that you're not arching or tucking too much in the spine, that you've got length out of the crown of your head, and you've let go of any unnecessary tension in the shoulders and the chest and the arms. So we're going to inhale to Urdhva Hastasana, extended mountain. And exhale as we fold from the hips, coming into our Uttanasana, forward fold. As it's our first one today, we're just going to take a few breaths here. So if you want to bend one leg and the other, feel free. If you want to give yourself a little bit of a wiggle, do that now. And then on your next inhalation, just reaching through the crown of the head into our Ardha Uttanasana, halfway lift. Exhale to plant the hands down, step or jump the feet towards the back of the mat, coming into our plank position. Take a moment here as well in this first one, just to check your alignment. See if you've got that core engaged, the legs engaged, the glutes, reaching out of the crown of the head. And then exhale as we lower to our 90 degrees, Chaturanga. Inhale, coming through into our upward facing dog, opening the chest, or our cobra if you'd like. And exhale as we push back into our downward facing dog. Our first downward facing dog of the day, maybe. So feel free to walk through the backs of the legs, bending one leg then the other. Maybe you want to just move the spine a little bit, bend the arms. Maybe keeping a micro bend in both legs for a bit of a modified downward dog. And then just checking in with the body, how it's feeling, the wrists. On your next inhalation, looking between the hands, lifting the heels and bending the legs to then power through the legs to step towards the front of the mat. Inhale to lift through the crown of the head, halfway lift, Ardha Uttanasana, and exhale to fold into our Uttanasana, forward fold. Inhale as we lift the torso back up, coming back into our extended mountain, and exhale back to our Tadasana. Just standing here, palms facing forwards for a moment, taking a few deep breaths. Allowing our bodies to recognise that we've started, that we're moving, the muscles need oxygen. And then we're going to bend the legs, sweep the arms, coming into our Surya Namaskar B. 2. Chair pose, Utkatasana. Weight through the back, through the heels. And then exhale as we fold forwards. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant the hands, step or jump the feet back into our high plank, lowering down to our chaturanga straight away this time. Inhale to our upward facing dog, chest through the arms. And exhale back to our downward facing dog. Not staying here this time. Turn the left foot to about 45-degree angle. Bring the right leg between the hands. Keeping the hips square, we're going to lift up into our warrior 1. Exhale, plant the hands, step the foot back. Chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Right foot this time turns to 45. Left leg steps between the hands or towards the front of the mat. Keeping our hips square to the front of the mat, we're going to inhale up into our warrior 1. Exhale, place the hands, step the foot back. Chaturanga, feeling free to modify on the knees. Inhale to upward facing dog or cobra. Exhale, back to downward facing dog. Here you're just going to stay in this downward facing dog for a few breaths. Finding the alignment again. Recollecting the breath. Finding strength. Before looking towards the hands, lifting the heels, bending the legs. Going to step back towards the front of the mat. Inhale to Ardha Uttanasana, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold to Uttanasana. Bend the legs, sweep the arms, coming into Utkatasana, chair pose. Weight through the heels. And exhale, back to standing. Again, turn the palms towards the front of the mat, the space. Just breathing here deeply in Uttanasana, mountain pose. Then we're just going to come into our first flow. So bending the legs, sweeping the arms back into our chair pose, Utkatasana. Weight back, core stabilising. And then taking a revolved Utkatasana, we're just going to rotate the torso towards the right side. So left elbow towards the outside of the right knee. Just looking towards the ceiling. And then taking weight out of that left leg, we're going to step back into a revolved high lunge here. Lifting, wheeling the arms, lifting the torso. We're going to come up, bring the body up into a revolved high lunge. Back leg straight, front leg bent, looking towards the back of the space. And then inhale as we swing that arm around to bring the torso back to face front. We're going to reach up with the arms. And then exhale as we bend the arms, draw the shoulder blades down the back, bend the back leg. Inhale to reach. Exhale to bend. Draw the energy in. Inhale to reach. Exhale to bend. Draw that oxygen in. Inhale to reach. This time we're going to turn the back foot towards the side of the mat, coming into 90-degree angle in the back leg. Opening the arms, coming into our warrior 2. The hips in warrior 2 are opening towards the long edge of the mat, the side of the mat. Arms reaching in opposition, forwards and backwards. Gaze over the front hand. Keep breathing here. Then turning that front hand, we're going to come back for a breath into the reverse warrior, reaching over the back straight leg. And then exhale as we wheel the arms back to frame the front foot. From here, keeping the right hand on the floor, we're going to reach forwards with the left hand, coming into our Utthita Parsvakonasana. For modification, place the elbow on the knee. we're turning that top hand, the little finger towards the floor, and we're looking with the gaze towards that little finger. If you're in full posture, you'll be down here. And then swing that arm back towards the mat. I'm going to turn the back toes, drop the back knee, and then just walk this front foot out towards, it'll be the right leg, out towards the side of the mat. Inhale to lengthen and exhale as we come down into our lizard pose. If you want to keep on the hands here or even use blocks to keep the torso up, we're thinking of lengthening through, opening the hips. So if you are coming down onto the elbows, we're trying not to just tuck everything in here and come into an arch position. We're trying to find this length as we open the knee to the side, the front of this left hip flexor, and the back of this hamstring on the right leg, sorry. Inhaling and exhaling deeply into the stretch. From here, maybe just have a look at me for a second. I'm just going to show you how we're going to come to face the two different sides of the mat. So first of all, I'll just go through it quickly and then we can do it together. So we're going to untuck the back toes, lift the back knee, come onto the left hand and the left foot, drawing that leg down and along to meet it. Either staying here in a side balance, or if you want to draw that knee up, come into a side balance like this. Then we're going to step behind with that right leg, opening up the front of the body into our wild thing. Then unspiraling, bring that right hand back towards the mat, use the core to pull that leg back over. We're going to twist until we're facing the other side of the long edge of the mat, dropping that right knee towards the floor. So now we're in this side long position, and then we're going to do some reaches and tucks facing the side of the mat here. So I'll talk you through it again, we can all do it together. Just thought it might be easy because once we all start twisting, it gets a bit confusing if you lose track of where I am. So coming onto the hands if you're on your elbows, tucking the back left toes and lifting the left knee. We're going to pull the weight through that left side this time, finding that side balance here on the left side. Breathing as we lift through that left hip to keep the hips lifted, and then stepping behind with the right leg, using the glutes and the core to protect the spine as we open into a wild thing. And then unspiraling, bring that right hand back towards the mat, bring that right foot back round, keep twisting until the knee meets the floor facing the other side of your mat. Good job. Reach in with that left hand and left leg away from each other as we inhale, then exhale to use the core, tuck everything in, make yourself small. Inhale to reach, exhale to tuck. Inhale to reach. Last time tucking. Reach this time, but you're going to this time draw the hand and the knee back, coming into our tabletop. From here, you're going to pull the weight through the left hand and the right knee as we reach away with the opposite right hand and left leg. Exhale to tuck everything in. Use the core, nose towards knee. Inhale as we reach. Exhale as we tuck. One more. Inhale as we reach. Exhale as we tuck. Choice this time, either coming back to tabletop or reaching all the way around to take hand in the foot or foot in the hand. Inhale to open the front side of the body in our tiger pose. And then exhale to slowly let go, bringing the hand and knee back towards the mat. Just going to come into our child's pose here. So pulling the sit bones towards the heels, walking the hands out in front of you, and resting the skull into the ground. Just take a moment to recollect the breath I know I need to. And chatting away while it's moving. You can barely breathe. So just feeling the folds in the body, the weight of the torso falling through the legs, thigh bones, shin bones and into the ground. Allowing the weight of the head to fall through the forehead into the ground, and the weight of the hands and the arms to relax. And then we're going to come forwards, stepping the feet back. We're going to take a vinyasa of your choice. So I'm just going to spin round so that I don't end up facing the other way. But lowering knees, chest and chin, or taking a chaturanga. Inhaling into our upward facing dog or cobra. Exhaling back to our downward facing dog. And then just walking the feet or the hands back into our uttanasana. Forward fold. From here, bending the legs, sweeping the arms. We're going to come to our left side, this time. Bring the right elbow towards the left knee. Rotating through the spine, reaching up the crown of the head. And then stepping back with that right leg, free the right leg, so you can step back into your high lunge. We've revolved the body here, so keep that twist in the body as we come, bring the torso up. And then swing the back arm to bring the torso back to centre as we come into our high lunge centre. Exhale as we bend the back leg, draw the elbows down. Inhale to reach and straighten. Exhale to bend. Inhale to reach. Find energy and strength here. Exhale to bend. Inhale to reach, and this time we're opening out into our warrior two. Turning the back toes to point to the side of the mat. Opening the hips away from each other. And making sure that our knee isn't too far over the front ankle. It should be stacked above the ankle. Just breathing here in our warrior two. And then turning the front palm, coming into our reverse warrior for a breath. Wheeling the arms down. And then choosing whether you're going to keep that left hand planted or placing it on the leg. You're going to sweep the right arm in front into our Utthita Parsvakonasana. Rotating the arm. Try and find that diagonal reach all the way down one side of the body, whether you're here or here. One more deep breath. And then bring that right hand down towards the mat, turning the back toes. You're going to drop that knee and walk the left foot out towards the side of the mat. Coming back into our lizard pose, so finding your blocks if you need them, staying on your hands or coming down onto your elbows, but keep that lengthening through the spine. Okay, one. More breaths here. And planting the hands, we're going to come into our side balance again, this time on the right side. So pouring weight through the right hand and the right foot. Going to draw that left leg down, either staying here or drawing the knee up the side of the body. Don't worry if you fall, just come back into it. And then stepping behind with that foot, we're going to come into our wild thing. Using the glutes and the core to protect the spine and the back bend. And then unspiraling, bring that left hand towards the floor, the left knee towards the floor, coming to face the other side. Going to reach through the right side of the body this time. And tuck. Keep breathing to move through the two positions. Inhaling as we reach. And exhaling as we tuck. One more. Inhale. And exhale. Reaching for the last time before coming into our tabletop. This time left hand and right leg are reaching. Reach and inhale. Exhale and tuck. Nose towards forehead. Inhale and reach. You're doing well. Exhale and tuck. One more. Inhale and reach. Exhale and tuck. And either coming down into tabletop or coming into tiger pose, your choice. Reaching round if you come into tiger pose, pressing the foot into the hand. So we inhale and open. And then letting go gently. Bringing the left hand and the right knee back. And coming back into our child's pose. Well done, everybody. Good work. We've got this. I'm just giving myself a little rock through the hips here. Feel free to find stillness if that feels better for you. Some clunking outside, sorry about that. So from here, we're just going to give the wrist a little bit of a shake. And then coming into our tabletop again, tucking the knees, tucking the toes and lifting the knees. We're going to push back into our downward facing dog again. Now we're going to move through some plank ripples. Can't talk anymore. So we're going to be lifting the heels, coming through a curve back, like a cat type back, all the way through into our high plank. Then we're going to bend the legs, arch the back, coming through a cow-like back, all the way back to downward dog. So we're going to take 3 of these. Breathing as we do it to give the movement rhythm and flow. So we're going to exhale forwards. Oh no, sorry. Yeah, exhale forwards. Inhale back. Sorry, just had a little brain lapse. Exhale forwards. Inhale back. Last one. Exhale forwards. Just trying to find that ripple through the spine where possible. Inhale back. And then just looking between the hands, we're going to lift the heels, bend the legs, and step or jump the feet to the outside of the hands. Just going to come back into the middle, but we're coming into our yogi squat. If you need to place a little block under the sit bones here, in fact, maybe I'll turn to face you. You can stay facing the front of your mat. So if you need to have a little block under your sit bones just to feel secure in the balance, then I would suggest you do that, because it's more about the opening of the hips and the lengthening of the spine. So if you're feeling like without a block or anything, you're just gripping to not fall back like that, and you just feel like everything's gripping, then maybe just place a block under your sit bones, or you could have a block under each heel, like that. But we're just opening the knees away from each other here, pressing between the hands in Namaste and Jali Mudra to pull the chest through the middle, opening the hips. Just breathing here. Keep inhaling to lengthen. And then pointing the right hand towards the floor, we're going to bring the armpit towards that knee, and if you can, rotate the arm round and wrap the arm around that leg until it meets kind of the back of the glutes. Then we're going to draw a big circle with the left hand all the way around. If you've got a strap and you need to use that behind your back here, then you can. If you can hold on to the wrist of the other hand and take the band behind the back, then do that. Or if you'd like to just stay in an open position like this, opening against the hip, then that's also a choice for modification. Just breathing into this spiral, into the opening, lengthening, and opening the face towards the ceiling, and then bringing the body back through the centre line to come to the other side. Left armpit to left knee, reaching all the way around. Again, using a strap, if that helps, behind the back. Can't quite reach yet. That's fine. Keep breathing here. And then coming back through centre. Now we're just going to either just place your hands down and lower your sit bones onto the floor, or you can try just reaching forwards with your body as you reach back with your sit bones. See if you can just bring your sit bones gradually onto the floor, like so. I'll just turn back this way now. So we're coming into 3 rounds of Navasana boat pose as a bit of a core workout with a little lift in between. So you could put blocks on either side of you to give you a little lift off, or if you want to do it just with the hands on the floor, maybe cross the legs over, makes it a little bit easier as they're a little bit further lifted, and we're just going to give our sit bones a little lift off the floor and then down. Even if you can just do it for a minute, a second, that's great. Or if you want to keep the toes slightly on the floor and do it with a little bit of support from the feet, then that's also one way that you can do it. With our Navasana boat pose, we can either be here for modification, or if you'd like to come into full boat pose, straightening the legs. We've got 3 rounds of 3 breaths, so your choice. Okay, so we've got this. I believe in you. Let's go. 3 breaths. Shoulders down and away from ears. Trying to use the core to protect the lower spine. If the lower back starts hurting, then just come out of it or lower the feet to touch the floor. And lift. And lower. Again. 3 breaths. 2. Enjoy the shakes. 3. And lift. Last round. And 2. And 3. Oh, shaking. And lift. Good. Well done, and lower the legs. So for the next few moves, I'm just going to show you a quick demonstration. We're coming into Halasana and Salamba Sarvangasana, so plough pose and shoulder stand. If they're in your practice, that's great, and you can maybe just skip forward to me doing this little explanation. Or if not, I'll just show you a few ways to modify it to keep safe. So coming down onto our backs, for shoulder stand, we're going to be pushing through the hands to lift the legs into the air. We're going to support the back with our hands. If this is in your practice and you can keep both legs in the air, then that's great. If not, maybe you want to place a chair behind you, or if you have got a sofa or something that you can turn around and have behind you, you can put one leg down onto the sofa, it doesn't matter which leg, or onto the floor if that feels better. So a slightly more supported shoulder stand. With plough pose, same kind of thing. So you can have a chair placed in the right place behind you and have both feet resting on the chair. Or for full posture, sorry, I'm not going to space, you're going to be in plough pose like this, or with your hands clasped down, maybe walk the shoulders under a little bit to be in full posture like this. So it's up to you. Maybe you just need a block, a chair, a sofa, just to rest the legs on so that we're not crunching the neck too much. Just to say, when we're coming out of Salamba Sarvangasana at the end, you can either just roll down through the spine and come back to lying on the back and then lift up into half bridge, or we're going to wrap the fingers around the side of the body here, dropping the pelvis into the hands, but with the fingers coming round the side, that's important. Then both knees coming towards the face. We're going to choose which leg, doesn't matter which one. And as one knee comes towards the face, the other one's going to drop the weight of the foot towards the floor, allowing the weight of the pelvis coming into the hands as we slowly lower the foot onto the floor. Once it's there, we can place the other leg down and lift into our half bridge this way. Oh, I'm coming off the mat. If not, you can just roll through the spine, come back to here, and then lift up into half bridge from there. Okay, so let's come into it, choosing, maybe get yourself ready with whatever modifications you need. Just going to push through the floor with our hands coming up into our shoulder stand, lifting through the feet towards the ceiling. Remembering here that we want to try and keep a softness in the front of the neck and the shoulders so that there's not too much tension or crunching. Allowing all that blood to fall. It's a good way to release the toxins out of the leg, flush the toxins out of the legs. This position has lots of benefits for digestion, blood circulation. Just gets the heart pumping to flow the blood in different ways to what it's used to. So just using the glutes and the core to keep the feet lifted towards the ceiling. Maybe your feet get slightly tingly here as the blood flows away from the feet. A few more breaths. And then we're just going to bend from the hips, lowering the feet into our plough pose, either onto a chair or sofa or onto the floor. Clasping the hands behind the back if you want to. We're thinking about lifting the sit bones towards the ceiling, keeping a long spine here, not crunching over. So trying to find that length through the spine. Legs engaged. Neck soft. A few more breaths. And then we're just going to bring our legs back up into our Sarvangasana shoulder stand. Wrap as we lower the pelvis into the hands. Wrap the fingers around so that we're not going to hurt the wrists as we bend our legs towards the floor. So choose one leg. Drop in the knee to counterbalance towards the face. And then just slowly dropping the foot onto the floor. Placing the other foot down. And then releasing the hands. Squeezing the thighs together, squeezing the glutes as we lift and push half bridge. Keep breathing. Keep lifting, last push. And then rolling down through the spine, lowering the hips onto the floor. Maybe window wiping the knees here. Well done everybody. Starting to wind down now. So just rock yourself up to sitting. Just take a few rocks holding the back of the legs. We're just going to open up the chest here after it's been in that closed position. So placing the hands just a bit away from the sit bones behind you, maybe a foot or two. And then just opening the shoulders, opening the chest. Just reversing the closing off. Good. And then just coming back to lying. Just take a happy baby pose here. To open the hips. More intense stretch, you can try straightening the legs. Just using the hands to pull the legs towards the floor. If not, maybe you're just rocking the back on the floor. Using the hands either on the shins or on the soles of the feet, or maybe even around the backs of the knees. I love this position. So nice. Just running a plant at the same time. And then from here, you're going to take your Shavasana. So for the sake of keeping my videos not too long, I'm just going to lie here for a very short amount of time, but feel free to pause me now if you want to take a bit of a longer Shavasana. then feel free to do that. Just pause me and namaste to you if you are going to do that. If not, if you want a shorter shavasana, then just closing the eyes, allowing the breath to come back to neutral. Just maybe scanning through the body, starting at the feet. Just paying attention to where there's space under the body and what parts of the body are falling into the floor, making contact with the floor. Just checking in with all the muscles that they're relaxing. Scanning all the way through the legs, through the pelvis, through the spine, the shoulder girdle, the arms, the neck and the head. And when you're ready, starting to move on to the side, either side, crawling onto the side of the body, feeling the weight pour into the floor before sitting ourselves up, either keeping the eyes lowered or closed. I'm just going to come sitting. Take 3 deep breaths in through the nose and out through the mouth like a sigh. Thanking yourself for being here on your yoga mat, taking the time to look after your mind and your body today. Bring the hands to heart center. I really hope that you enjoyed this flow, that you feel energized and warm and happy. Please, if you do, tell your friends or family or pets or anybody where to find me, and I'll hopefully see you again. Namaste.